right, welcome back to Cordova. We're coming to you live today from Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab, and we'll be here all afternoon. Come by and see it. It is an incredible place, and stop by the deli. How late does the deli stay open? 4 o'clock. Well, hurry. Come on. But I had one of the cookies from there, and it was absolutely delicious. I'm looking forward to coming back and having a sandwich there one day. Joining us now is the CFO of Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab, Jerry. Is it Jacques? Jacques. It's a French name.
It is.
It is. And you're also the project manager for the construction. Did they tell you when you came on as CFO that you'd also be getting in the construction business soon?
They did not.
They did not. But having built a few restaurants myself, you have to have somebody on site every day and looking at everything that's going on to be able to know that it's all happening the way it's supposed to happen.
Well, that's right. There's a credible amount of detail, as I'm sure you know, and the architects can do so much, and the general contractor and the subcontractors do so much, but somebody's got to make sure that, you know, things are going according to our plan.
I just remember asking lots and lots of questions, and then when they couldn't answer them, I go, okay, well, we need to come up with an answer. So
right.
You guys need to get on the phone and find out, because it really is. It's not real complicated. It's just as details.
It is.
And who does what first, because sometimes you do one thing before the other thing, then somebody else is going to come in and tear out what they did to get to what they need to do.
We've been very lucky. We haven't had to do very many tear-outs, so it's a good team. We've Fleming Architects did a great job. I'm sure when you pulled in, you saw the frontage maybe. It's a very attractive building. Yes. And Linkus Construction is a general contractor, one of the best, if not the best in town, and they're doing a great job of putting it all together for us.
My dad used to build huge pipelines across Mexico, Canada, and that was one of the things that when you look at construction companies, it's not always the low bid that you're looking for.
That's right.
And so what you really look at for is reputation. Do you make it good if something doesn't work right? That kind of thing.
Right. Quality. You want to do it once and not have to go back in and redo it. So.
What are the bigger challenges? Because I know when you're thinking forward, you're not just thinking about what's going on in today's world. You got to be looking past that.
Right.
And so what kind of research did you have to do to take a look at the world, not just this world, but the world of medicine, and who's going to be coming to you, and what kind of shape they'll be in when they come, because that's going to be changing as well.
Right. I think there's been a lot of publicity, a lot of press about the changing landscape for skilled nursing homes. Some of the articles that I've seen are very encouraging. They're not really going away. To the extent that long-term care census may be declining a bit, it's being supplemented by the short-term rehab, as Bobby was saying earlier today. We're all getting older, and there's more hips and knee replacements. People are living longer. They want to stay at home, but then they're going to need some rehab. So facilities like us that have been able to adjust to that market and kind of shift some of our focus from long-term care to short-term care. Our mission is, of course, taking care of the elderly, and in particular the Jewish elderly. It is, after all, the Memphis Jewish Home. But in line with that, there's a great demand for short-term rehab. So, maybe 15 years ago, our census was majority of long-term care residents. Well, today, it's approaching 50-50. So I think we'll always be in the long-term care business. It's part of our mission. We do it very well. But we've also built up a very strong reputation for short-term rehab. And that's what really led us into this project. If you want me to elaborate.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Well, we wanted to accomplish three things, and I think Bobby alluded to this. Demand's been growing. Short-term rehab admissions, particularly, are increasing every year. We needed more space. We wanted to provide the physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy to all of those people who want to come here. So right now we're utilizing two rooms, two different spaces, because of the crowding. So instead of putting everybody in one room, they're in two different rooms. So we wanted to build a facility that we would be able to bring everything together and have more room to deliver therapy. We've got some somewhat innovative things built in. We actually have a physical automobile that will be on the floor, a very small one, of course. It's for transfer training, they call it. So if you're in a wheelchair and you got to get into the car,
You got to know how to do it.
whether you're driving or you're the passenger, you've got to be able to maneuver and transfer. So we're actually going to have an automobile sitting on the floor so that patients can practice that before they go home. The second thing we wanted to do, well, I also wanted to mention that, it's a very large gym. Very generous donor has helped us to fund that. It's got a walking track. It's not quite a circle, but that gives you an image of it. You can walk all around this space. But in addition to that, aquatic therapy is one of the things that we think will be a big benefit. We'll be, at the time we open, for sure, the only nursing home with a HydroWorks pool. It's kind of a brand name.
Which is, because I've done some research into that, it is low impact.
Low impact, exactly.
You're basically weightless when you're in there. Things you can't do on dry land, you can do in the water to work up to dry land.
That's right.
In fact, I was just talking to a friend of mine, Randy Wright, who's the dive shop, and I said, you really ought to encourage more older folks to dive because it's like flying, and they would be exhilarated by it. But you got to get them from A to B.
Right.
And so that, I think the aquatics is a great addition.
Well, it's a very innovative piece of equipment. The University of Memphis has one for athletes, and a lot of colleges around town
They have
do.
them for horses.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, for
exactly.
rehabbing horses.
But you did your research very well. It is very much low impact. And one of the big benefits is that patients can begin therapy sooner because they won't experience the pain.
Mm-hmm.
So what that'll do is shorten their stay and get them back home sooner.
Which is what they want.
And it's an
Everybody.
option. If you don't want aquatic therapy, we still, of course, have the other machines and the therapists to deliver that.
I know that they're coming out of each stage of surgery and different operations much faster than ever before. I was back at work after triple bypass in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And began my rehab in 2 weeks.
Right. Look at Mick Jagger.
Well, I don't look so good in tights, so. But he's still looking great, and I think that's why so many people showed up at his concert. They said, "Man, that's a testament to our generation. It's if Mick Jagger could do it, we all ought to get up and say, I can come back." But it is, and rehab is so important. I went into rehab, and then they gave me 2 1-pound dumbbells, and I thought, "Oh, come on, man!" Then I worked out and went, "Thank you." Because I was at 11 days, and then just the impact of major invasive surgery, it takes a lot out of you.
It does.
But now I'm back up to 12-pound dumbbells, and
Wow.
they're, come on, you heart patients, let's go. But I can't encourage rehab enough. I think that is the key to recovery, and the key to actually getting back to a life that they can actually enjoy. And I think that's why what you're doing is so important.
Thank you. We think it is. I think sooner or later, most of us, maybe not all of us, but most of us are going to need some rehab. And it's great if you've got a facility like this that you can go to, whether it's 7 days or 14 days or 21 days, get you back to where you were before your surgery or your accident. And that's really what it's all about. So that's two of the things. We wanted more space. And we wanted some more innovative pieces of equipment to, really continue the excellence that we're well known for. And the third thing, Bobby spoke to that too as well, private rooms. Everybody wants a private room.
Yeah.
So by adding 16 beds as part of this addition, it's 25,000 square feet, roughly 15,000 for the rehab gym, and about 10,000 for the patient wing, 16 rooms. It enables us to convert semi-private rooms on our first floor in the current building to private rooms. So, as you said earlier, we'll still have 160 beds, but we'll have 80 on the first floor that are all really designated for short-term rehab.
I do tell people, though, and I've had some people remind me of this, when you tell people, I say, well, I just finished my another rehab today, and they said, say it's physical or heart rehab, because they think you're coming off the pipe. And so I say it's physical or my cardiac rehab.
Cardiac, right.
But it is very important, and it is amazing how many people that have gone through some major operations and come back, and you see them a year or so later, and you go, man, what a difference it makes. And I know you encourage this, but do most of the people that come through and finish the rehab and go home, do they continue to join some kind of a spa or place to work out?
Well, we sure hope so. I don't think we really have, statistics or information on that, but, we do see some patients that come back, they'll have a knee done 1 year and maybe the other one the next year, so we do see some folks that come back that way.
See, I'm avoiding that by just not playing tennis or anything. I just sit on my deck and wave.
Exercise can be dangerous sometimes. Right?
It wears all that stuff out. That's the problem. Yeah. Well, Jerry, thank you for stopping by. You're doing a great job, and even though they put another hat on you and say you're now in charge of construction, obviously you're very capable. So,
thank you very much.
The joint's in good hands.
Oh, no pun intended.
No
right?
pun intended. Yes. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute. We're coming to you live in Cordova for the Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab.